Alright, in today's video we're going to see if we can get the quad started. It hasn't been fired up for a while, so we're going to fire it up, change oil, check the spark plugs, and do a general service of it before we go out this year. Might have to prime it. There we go. Alright, today we're going to do spring maintenance on my quad. This is an Arctic Cat TRV 650 H1. I haven't driven it that much in the past year, and this is maintenance that you should do normally throughout the year, not just in the springtime. But today we're going to change oil. We're going to check the spark plug, see if it needs changing. The air filters inside here, we're going to take that out, inspect it. It's probably all dirty and muddy. This particular model, we change all the oil filters on the opposite side where I am. There is a drain plug on the bottom. There's a skid pan on top of that. The skid pan has the hole cut out. You can access the oil drain so you can drain your oil. And we're going to get at it. We're going to get this project done and just kind of give you a rundown basically how this is done. So if you have a quad, ATV, whatever you want to call it, so you can basically go through the same steps because everything's going to be similar depending on the type of quad you got. Like if you got a cheap Chinese piece of shit, then it's going to be different. But let's get to work. There you go, you can see it in the corner there through the holes and kind of shooting it through. There's the drain plug for this quad. It's a 19 mil. Gonna pull that out, let that oil drain into a pan. Back in the good old days we used to just dump it in the back alley to keep the dust down, but unfortunately environmental demands have denied us from doing that anymore, so we gotta suffer with dust and shit now. There we go, into the pan. It's also good practice when you're draining the oils to open up the fill, just to help the engine vent when the oil is draining out, just like that. Here's the oil plug here. There's some metal filings and shit on that. That's going to be pretty much normal every time you change oil. This engine is the second engine in the quad. It's probably only got 1,000 kilometers on it. I don't even know how many hours, but just barely broken in now. Now the air filter for this quad is located underneath the storage compartment. I have it taped down because mine broke. Beef jerky proper. So now that the storage compartment is removed, you can see the air box right there. It's got the clips. Remove those clips and access the air filter underneath. There's our air filter, we pulled it out. There's the inside of the box. You can tell that mud and shit gets in. So it's important that you keep your air filter clean. If the air filter dirty, you're going to start choking out your engine and it's going to cause all sorts of problems. Well, it appears that I no longer have any K&N filter cleaning supplies, so I'm just going to reinstall the air filter for now. I'm not going out quadding anytime in the next week or so, so I can pick that up whenever and do it. I used to be a big fan of the K&N filter. I used to use them in all my vehicles I got, but to be honest, I don't really notice any difference with using them. So in any 4-stroke quad, you're going to have an oil filter somewhere on your engine. On this Arctic Cat engine, it's located on the right side, right there, right where you can see it. And usually you could probably pull it off by hand. Yeah, actually it's going to come off by hand, but otherwise, if it can't come off by hand, these kind of wrenches work good. If you've seen some of my other videos, I got like a spider claw wrench. As you tighten the ratchet or loosen the ratchet, the fingers turn and get it off, but I can just rip this off by hand, so I'm going to remove it and get ready to put the new filter on. Here's the old filter, there's a new filter. You noticed I put a light layer of oil around the surface. You absolutely want to do this. This will ensure a seal and will make it easier to get the filter off and you change oil. If you don't put oil around the surface, you're going to find out that rubber ring sticks and it's going to be a bitch to get off. So put oil, always put frickin' oil on this O-ring surface of your filter and put it on. When you put the new oil filter back on, you don't need to be a frickin' hero. You just need to put it on hand tight. That's it, hand tight, and it'll seal perfectly. Don't fucking crank that bitch down, because you're just gonna fucking piss yourself off later on. This is the most important part. You've gone through all your steps. The oil drain plug's in, the filter's changed. Now you're ready to add oil. The oil fill plug's right in there. Odds are, unless you have a really long skinny filter, you're not going to get in there. So I'm going to fill my quad using this hand pump. I've used this hand pump for many other oils, so I'm just going to give it a few pumps and just going to purge out any of the old oils to protect myself from, looks like there's transmission fluid I pumped last. So then I'm just going to stick, oops, don't make a mess, stick it in the hole. And pumping the oil actually, in most cases, is a lot faster than trying to funnel it in, because you just force it in. So I got 2 liters of oil in there right now. We're just going to check the oil. And you just stick it in the hole, you don't thread it in, remove it. And look, so there's no oil on the dipstick yet. Do that again. So you just right on the very bottom. So I'm going to stick in maybe half a liter. So 2.5 liters, we're about halfway on the stick, so I'm going to fire it up to get oil going through the system. Then we're going to check it again, probably add almost another liter after that just to bring it back up to full. So now we're going to check the oil. Filled it up. Right on the full mark, so now we're good. So now we're going to move on to removing the spark plug, which is, I don't know if you can see with the camera, there's the spark plug boot right there. Going to remove the spark plug, have a look at that, possibly change it, and then check over some other things, and then call it a day. I want to show you the spark plug wrench. It's a pretty tight fit, but you can still get in there if you don't want to use a socket and a spark plug wrench. Every ATV should have its own toolkit and a spark plug wrench in there. Here's the spark plug right here. You can see it's pretty black. That can be black for a number of reasons. Like I said, in the past year I've only really taken it out twice, and other times I just kind of fired it up and drove it down the back alley. So without really driving the quad, it's not really getting up to proper temperature and burning the fuel properly, so that's one reason it could be black. I'm going to have to take it out for a day and take it out for a real good romp, then check the spark plug. I'm going to put a new one in, and then we're going to inspect the CV axles, and then we're going to move on. So one other thing too, now that we've got the spark plug in, have a look at this. You always notice that the warning labels never used with drugs or alcohol. Who doesn't go out ATV and then have a few drinks? I mean, just be frickin' boring if you weren't getting smashed, but don't get too drunk and be an idiot. Don't be fucking goof. But anyways, we're gonna look at the CV axles. You just want to go over them, see if any boots are torn, inspect your rad. That's Arctic Cat. The suspension is independent in the rear. Everything else. Used to have an HMF muffler back in the day, but I took it off because it's too freaking loud. It was just, my ears would ring all day, and the people I'd go out quadding with would complain if they were behind me. So I still have a lot of things. I got a Speedworks clutch kit in it. Seems to work okay. The dyno jet I no longer have. The CDI box, I still use it along with the stock just in case it shits the bed. There's the HMF sticker. They're all worn off over the years, so that's the way she goes. My appliance is Deckard. But anyways, that's the video on doing an oil change. We changed the spark plug, checked the air filter like I said. Don't have any K&N cleaning supplies and oil to do it, so gonna have to do that at a later date. CV axles look good, no flat tires. There was an oil leak coming from the water pump, I noticed. Gonna have a look at that later. Some other videos I'm gonna do. Gonna do a video on inspecting your belt. We're not gonna do that today. It's not really a big job, but it does take a couple hours. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, or follow me on Twitter, Bullshit Corner. Otherwise, have a great day.